The West African leaders expected to hold a summit to discuss Niger's coup and the military's rejection to reinstate the ousted president. Well, let's get some detail now, and we speak to our Nigeria correspondent, Ekeomah, Eneji. And Ekeomah, thank you very much for your time. Let's start off with the latest reports suggesting that the airspace in Niger has been violated by France. What are you hearing on the ground?
Okay, they accused France of destabilizing of their country, but then there has been a response that this was an allegation and it was false. We are also hearing just last night, we saw the Emir of Kano and the Emir of the third largest city in Niger come to see the military coup leaders to, have talks around reinstating the ousted leader. But we are not sure of that outcome. Currently, right here in the city of Abuja, the ECOWAS heads of state are meeting to also, have talks around restoring democracy back to the Niger. Recall that there had been a 7-day ultimatum given by the West African bloc for the military junta to stand down and hand over power to the ousted president. But the deadline has passed, and ECOWAS actually threatened that they will take military force if they did not heed to the sanctions. But, the deadline has passed, nothing has happened. And of course, we're also hearing that if there's going to be a display of force, and there's going to be a declaration of war. So in response to that, the ECOWAS leaders are coming together today here in this city to have another meeting. We hope that the outcome of the meeting will be positive. So we're still waiting for the outcome.
Well, let's talk about that extraordinary summit that is going to take place in Abuja. The ECOWAS leaders going back on their word, which had promised military intervention if the deadline is passed to reinstate or reinstall President Bazoum. That has come and gone. Instead, they came out recently to say the best way forward is to basically get around the negotiating table. So what could come out of this extraordinary summit?
Okay, very well indeed. There's also the egalitarian society that has come out to say the use of force is not worth it for this kind of issue. So they're coming again to say, okay, let's come back to the table and let's have a dialogue. Like I mentioned earlier, the Emir of Kano in Nigeria and another traditional ruler in Niger met again to seek dialogue. There has been talk, there has been threats of military intervention, but then again, we know that the outcome might be bloody, as even Burkina Faso and Mali, who have also given their solidarity for Niger, have said that if there is any military intervention from the ECOWAS, then there will be war. So I think it's on the basis of this that the leaders have decided to go back to the discussion table to see what could be done. We hope that the outcome of the meeting would be progressive.
Yeah, you talk about Burkina Faso and Mali, and indeed, they have pledged solidarity to Niger, the coup leaders there. We saw reports in the week suggesting that Burkina Faso actually even had a military plane landing in Niger, while Mali, on the other hand, pledged to send a delegation there. Are they going to be part of this extraordinary summit of the ECOWAS?
So they have actually been suspended because the ECOWAS summit is actually for democratic leaders. So they are not going to be part of this summit. But what we know is that they have said that they are standing by them. They are standing with Niger on this. Of course, it's against what the ECOWAS believes. So they're standing with them. We saw, of course, what happened in Burkina Faso and in Mali. the take back of the government by force. That's because they felt that the democratic government was not doing enough in terms of the economy, in terms of corruption, in terms of insecurity. Recall that there had been jihadist attacks in Niger. There had been a lot of insurgency in the Sahel region, and of course, these people think that it is time to take laws into their hands. They have actually come out to support them. In some of the rallies and the protests that we saw over the week, we saw that even the citizens of Niger were, jubilating. They were excited about what is going on in their country. However, just yesterday, we could see that an opposition has arisen in Niger. There's an opposing leader who was a former rebel and a politician who has come out to say his faction, a resistance group, is against the military takeover in Niger. And so that's the first attempt to stop this coup, to stop the current government in the country. This is the first internal resistance in the country. So we're looking out to see how all of this will play out as the day goes by.